Would I be the asshole if I sold the mobile home we bought for my dad to help him get on his feet? My husband and I purchased a mobile home for my father. My father has been an alcoholic all my life, and we have never had a deep relationship. 12 years ago, we were in a position to help him and bought an older mobile home for $30,000. He was not keeping a job because of his drinking. He receives government support, but not much. We helped to keep a roof over his head and food in his belly. It was made clear that we were not the landlords, and all upkeep would be his responsibility. All we asked was that he not smoke in the unit, which he ignored. An inspection was completed, everything was up to code, and we all agreed to proceed. We supplemented around $200 a month to help him. His cost has always been $400. His girlfriend moved in about 7 years ago, at which point we no longer had to supplement until 3 years ago when inflation increased, but it was only a small amount. She had a place in the same park, and I asked him to move into her place so we could sell. I explained the stress it was causing on my marriage and that we did not know how much financially we could contribute. They convinced me to let them move into our place, and mostly out of guilt of keeping his costs low, I agreed. We spent thousands on a new furnace a few years ago. They are seniors on a fixed income. I do not know her financial details. They pay on time and haven't asked for much over the last 6 years. This unit has always been a major source of stress in my marriage. My husband has wanted to sell it for years, mostly because of the way my father treats us when he has been drinking. He has been sober for 2 years, but the unit needs some fixing, and now it is expected that we pay for everything. One issue is air conditioning, as it is very hot where they live. We got some quotes and it's a lot of money. My husband doesn't feel we should be out thousands for a luxury. He is very black and white and feels my father should start acting like an adult by supporting himself. He has wanted to sell for years. Would I be the antagonist if we sold the unit and essentially evicted my father? We could offer for them to purchase it from us, which would still keep their monthly costs fairly low, but would remove us from the situation. I don't know if they could qualify. We could also let them know we would be selling it next spring, which gives them time to plan. I feel like I am stuck between choosing my marriage and family or my father's stability. You are not the jerk. You and your husband have paid his way long enough and have been more than generous. Your father has not maintained the unit and has continued smoking in it, so it's understandable that you wouldn't want to put more money into it. Ultimately, your father and his girlfriend are adults and need to figure something out on their own. Would I be the Shole if I abandoned my family and never turned back? Hello, I don't frequent this subreddit very much, but this has been weighing on me pretty badly. I am a 21-year-old female living with my parents, who are a 49-year-old female and a 54-year-old male, and my 11-year-old sibling. We live in a nice little house in a quiet town. My mother does all the work while my father stays at home. Recently, my parents have been irreparably angry with me, shouting at me almost 24/7 for reasons I don't even understand. I don't do anything. I stay home. I'm knee-deep in my college courses. I don't hang out with my friends much. I go to church. I sing in the choir. And I live by a curfew that I don't break even by a few seconds. They keep claiming that I have to be lying about everything I do. The only thing I really lie about is going to therapy, which I do in secret because I have a couple of mental problems. My mother will barge into my room daily and shout at me for lying and having a problem, or that I don't appreciate anything and that I'm too disrespectful. I've done everything correctly, followed all the rules, and did everything right, but it's never enough. I want to leave. I want to get out of my house and start anew someplace else. I have friends willing to house me, and I have a remote part-time job. I know I will be okay. The thing I'm most worried about is my sibling, and maybe my parents a little bit. Despite how much they likely hate me, I still care about them quite a bit. My parents aren't that old, but they aren't very healthy. I'm afraid if I left, they'd drop dead or something and just get heart attacks and die. I don't like them very much, but I don't want something to happen to them just because I left. I'm most terrified for my sibling. The child is young, and these people are awful. I need to get out for my own sake and safety, but I feel like I'd be doing something terrible by abandoning my little sibling. I raised that child, and I would hate to see them broken down and exhausted before they turn 18. I've protected them our whole lives so far, but now I may have to leave them behind. It's heavy on my heart, and I feel like these are two entire paths that will impact the rest of our lives permanently. I don't want to open them up to the damage I've been keeping them safe from, but I need to get out of here. You behaved properly. It's obvious your parents are being unreasonable, and it's affecting your mental health. It's almost like they want you to feel guilty or something, and because you're following all the rules, they can't punish you, so they're getting mad about that. Make sure to talk to your sister, ensure she has resources, and let her know she can always contact you once you leave. Tell a trusted adult or family friend about your plan, and focus on preparing for the day both you and your sibling can be free from that toxic environment. Am I the jerk for choosing to stay home and work instead of going on a family vacation? I, a 17-year-old female, come from a pretty close family. We all live in the same city and make a point to have an all-family meal at least once a week. Every year we stay at my grandpa's cabin in another state for about a week and perform normal cabin activities like campfires, paddleboarding, and fishing. I really enjoyed these trips as a child, but now that I am in high school, I find myself growing frustrated with them as they interfere with my sports schedule and hanging out with my friends. I realize this mindset kind of makes me the antagonist. Still, I continued to go because my family all being together made my grandpa so happy, and I love him more than words can say. However, this summer is different for 2 reasons. First, my dad has been encouraging me to get a job since before I was even in high school. This is the first summer that I actually have a traditional job with a boss, a schedule, and get treated like an adult. Secondly, my grandpa has had many health scares this past year, and his doctor did not want him to go to the cabin, so he is staying home. I told my dad that I would not be going to the cabin this year since I had already requested a lot of time off from my job this summer, mostly for college tours and once for visiting family. I wanted to make money and stand on business. I also said that since Grandpa wasn't going, I didn't really see the point because I only really went for him and I see my aunt, uncle, and cousins every week. Before talking to my dad, I made arrangements with my grandpa to stay with him while everyone else is gone so he doesn't get lonely, and I would commute to work from his house. I thought this was pretty reasonable, but my dad absolutely blew up at me and said that I was ungrateful, didn't want to be a part of the family, and that I was cruel for making my grandpa take care of me while he is struggling. For reference, I was planning to cook for my grandpa, clean, and take him to doctor's appointments while I was staying with him. I told my dad that I didn't want grandpa to have no family members in town and that I would look after him. He got my aunt on the phone and she said something along the lines of, "Oh, so you've outgrown us." I replied that we see each other every week and that I was worried about grandpa and wanted to spend quality time with him as his health is declining. She hung up. The prevailing narrative amongst my family is that I just want to work and make money and mooch off my grandpa. I'm feeling pretty guilty, and personally, I don't think I am the antagonist, but maybe I need another perspective. You are not in the wrong here. You made a commitment to your employer, and it's great that you want to stick to it. Plus, it's lovely that you've arranged to stay with your grandpa and help him out while everyone else is away. Stand firm and don't let your family make you feel guilty. Your grandpa will truly appreciate having someone around. Would I be the asshole if I told my mom that I don't really want to live with her again? Backstory. I posted on here about 2 years ago about a situation where I was trying to move in with my dad, and my mom would not allow me to. Since then, some crazy stuff happened and we got evicted. My mom and half-sister stayed with my dad and me for a while, and they left about 2 months ago. Since then, it has just been me, a 15-year-old female, and my dad. Here's my predicament. My mom believes that I have free reign to do whatever I want because my dad works a lot and isn't home often. This is not true. I am currently on summer break, so I don't have many responsibilities other than basic upkeep of my space and the house. I do have more freedom when it's just me and him, but of course, he still has expectations and rules. When I visit my mom, I feel like she drags me down, and I don't know why. She loves me and we get along, but she holds me back and I don't think she even realizes it. For example, my state has a free tuition STEM boarding school, and I plan to apply to it. There are 2 campuses. One is about 45 minutes away from me, and the other is about 3 hours away. Neither is ideal, but it's an amazing opportunity and comes with great benefits. I bring this up to her and she says that she doesn't want me to be living on my own, even after I assure her that I will be safe on the campus. She has completely said no to me going to the campus 3 hours away, but it's not up to me which one I get accepted to. I can only rank my preference. My dad, on the other hand, is very supportive of this, and he encourages me to take advantage of every opportunity possible. I have always been independent to an extent, and I would be fine at the school on the off chance that I get accepted. She just refuses to hear me out and probably doesn't understand how much my academic future matters to me. Another example, she constantly nags me about how I live. I'm currently going through a lot because the past years of my life have been one bad thing after another and I couldn't get a break. Until now, I can finally relax without the toxic stressors in my life that kept popping up. Some things I cannot erase from my head. My mental health has made me care less, so I haven't been eating well. That on top of the stress and other girl-related issues has made me break out and gain a bit of weight. I'm trying to work on it, but her comments about my diet do not help at all as they are condescending and I'm already aware of it. It makes me feel terrible. She has talked about me living with her again in the future, but I don't want to. I already had to move schools mid-freshman year, and I'm doing well in my new school. I do not want to uproot my life again and have to start over. I also feel like I'm better off with my dad in a less stressful environment. If I tell her that I don't want to live with her, I'm afraid our relationship may be affected, making me the asshole. Apologies for the long rant, but would I be the asshole if I told her I just want to stay with my dad until I'm an adult? You did the right thing. It seems like the mom is trying to assert authority because she feels it slipping, but her decisions don't appear to be based on what's best for the child. At some point, it's necessary to tell her directly that staying with the dad is the plan. Adding "for now" might help to keep her from getting too upset. Am I the jerk for making my child wear less revealing clothes? I, 41-year-old male, and my wife, 39-year-old female, send our daughter, 10-year-old female, to a day camp at her school on weekdays since we need to work. My wife usually drops her off and picks her up, but that day she had an early appointment and went straight to work afterward. So of course I took our daughter Angela to camp. I was waiting for her to finish getting ready and noticed she was taking a while. I went upstairs to see if something was wrong, and Angela was in the bathroom applying red lipstick. She also had on mascara and eyeliner. She was wearing a red pleather jacket and a matching pleather miniskirt. I told Angela she was way too young to be wearing makeup and to wash the stuff off her face. I also said the skirt, which was tight and went above her knees, was too revealing for a girl her age to be wearing. She said all her friends dress like this and wear makeup. She told me her mom lets her wear makeup and clothes more revealing than the skirt. I said that I'm her father and she has to do what I say, and she can handle one day at camp without makeup. She threw a fit and faked tears at one point, but eventually gave in and wore jeans. Later, when my wife got home, I told her everything Angela said to me. I said I wasn't comfortable letting our daughter wear clothes like that and makeup at such a young age. She said she was fine with Angela wearing makeup and clothes more revealing than the skirt, and if I didn't like it, I should just look away. I told her she's my daughter too and I get to make some decisions, but she said since I wasn't the one paying for the makeup or clothes, I didn't have a say. I've tried getting her to change her mind, but she won't budge. So, am I the asshole? It's clear there are deeper issues at play than just your daughter's clothing and makeup choices. You and your wife need to have a serious discussion about your parenting dynamic and find a way to present a united front. Both of you deserve to have your opinions respected, and bringing finances into the equation is a strange and unhelpful move. Work on setting consistent boundaries together so that your daughter isn't confused by mixed signals. Would I be the jerk if I asked my spouse to let mother-in-law stay back at her place? My husband and I got married last year. Since then, every couple of months, it's either us going and staying with my mother-in-law for a month at a time, or it's her coming to stay with us for a month at a time. My husband called my mother-in-law to live with us until October this time, and she has been here since the beginning of May. My husband believes that since she is a widow and, according to him, hasn't enjoyed much in life, it's time for us to give her the world. In the beginning, it was fine as we would mostly visit her. I had some privacy at my mother-in-law's place. My husband pays the mortgage for that, since it's bigger than where we stay. Here, we stay in a 2-bedroom apartment with a common balcony. My mother-in-law is always in the living area or the balcony. I work Monday through Saturday, going to the office early in the morning and reaching home in the evening. We stay in the living area with my mother-in-law and then just go to bed, barely talking. Now, my husband even refuses to acknowledge that there is a lack of privacy because of my mother-in-law staying here. He says it's great that we enjoy home-cooked meals by her. I make breakfast every day for all of us. She prepares lunch for the two of them, and for dinner, we share responsibilities. My mother-in-law is becoming more and more dependent on my husband for everything. She doesn't have her own circle of friends and refuses to join groups of similarly aged women who invited her, saying that she doesn't vibe with them. However, she has no problem going to my husband's work parties or friends' celebrations, where the invitations are for the full family. My husband walks me to the nearby subway before work. Every day when we leave, my mother-in-law is at the door telling him to call her when he is back, in minutes usually, so that they can go for a walk. My mother-in-law has created a routine where she tells my husband to go to the nearby mall, like Target, as we need weekly groceries. Most of these groceries go to waste, and the cycle goes on every week. We have a farmer's market nearby with fresh vegetables, but she insists on going to the mall. When I come home, she tells me of all the adventures they had. It's been months since just the two of us did something as a couple. We haven't gone to the movies. One weekend trip was with my mother-in-law, where she insisted on shopping several times in a day. I just said with a straight face that his mom shops a lot, to which my husband said that she never got to enjoy life, so now let her live to the fullest. Although in the last couple of years I have only seen her shop excessively, to the extent where she spends all her money on shopping. Obviously, my husband is happy that his mother is here. She coddles him like a baby. He reassigns tasks I tell him to do, like changing the water for our indoor plants, to his mother, and she happily does them. My mother-in-law has started behaving like she knows more about this place than I do. She gives judgmental looks to my room when it's messy. The couple of times I had a fight with my husband outside the house. We can't fight at home in front of her. She pointed out how my husband's face looks small and dry and asked if he is okay. She said, "I am your mother. I know when you are sad," casually. The fights were because we don't get any couple time. Since then, he took me out once for maybe a couple of hours. His mother acted grumpy for a few days, and we had to appease her a lot so that she went on a trip with us. My husband keeps saying we have to act well to his mother so that she doesn't feel like she is intruding. Last week, when I was at work, my husband had a conversation with my mother-in-law about when she will come next after October. She said that she will come soon as he won't get food when I go to the office. She is becoming more and more comfortable here. My husband usually works at the office table in our bedroom, but she has found a way to make him sit in the living area with her all day. If he wants to come into work saying he needs to attend a meeting or so, she asks him to attend the meeting in the hall, and she won't be disturbed at all. On some Saturdays, when my husband wants to go out and play sports with his friends, my mother-in-law tries her best so that he doesn't go. She says things like, "You are weak, you had that pain months ago, you don't need to go play, you will be hurt." On one such Saturday, my husband came to my office during lunch, and we had lunch at a nearby place. When he went home, my mother-in-law had prepared meals for them both. When he said he was full, she had tears in her eyes and my husband had to eat with her again. She isn't a bad person and usually doesn't say much to me, but my husband doesn't realize that he is crippling her and making her heavily dependent on him emotionally. How can I deal with this situation? If I bring it up, he gets angry and says that I create the same ruckus every few weeks. At her hometown, my mother-in-law stays in an apartment and is next door to our other family, her husband's brother and his wife. She shared a great rapport with them and was comfortable until she started settling in here. Am I the asshole? Posts exceeding the 3,000 character limit will be removed and cannot be continued in the comments or another thread. Make sure to read the rules in full before attempting to repost. Editing the removed post won't get it approved. You'll need to post it again. Avoid circumventing requirements. It can result in a ban. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.